one thing I looked into, because obviously everybody knows the story that you gained a hell of a lot of distance, and I pulled up some stats, so I think these are correct 'cause off the PGA website, but in 2019 you were tied 34th in driving distance at 302. So you weren't short. I think sometimes people think that you were a short hitter before, but that to me isn't a short hitter. Like, you were tied 34. Then in 2020, you went to first in driving distance at 322. So you gained 20 yards, and that saw obviously your score average drop as well. You went down from 70.14 to 69.24, so pretty much a shot, which is incredible. But there was, and this frustrated me at the time, and I want to hear your opinion on this, obviously, but there was some kind of negativity around you gaining distance, which I couldn't fathom. If somebody spent a year or 6 months working on the putting and improved the putting strokes gained, people would applaud them for it. But yet, people seem to, in the media, sometimes hate on you for doing that, and I personally don't understand it. How did that make you feel? Did it get you down? Did it piss you off? Or did it motivate you even more?
Yeah, I mean, there are times where it's definitely difficult to I guess, take it. That's also why I started my own YouTube channel. I mean, down the road, it's been a little bit, right? To 2021 is when I started doing that, but I tried to start producing some of my own content more, and control a bit of the narrative, because it was getting out of hand. It has gotten out of hand for no reason. And again, I get this world's about clicks and likes, and that's where I've dove down into this world, and it's been a little interesting for me to understand. I don't want to do clickbaity material, but I also want to showcase very intelligent ideas and thoughts, and deliver it to the public as much as I possibly can while producing cool, fun content, right? So it's this huge balance I'm trying to have in doing this. And that's a part of why, I created, along with Hogan and Martin Borgmeyer and Hudson Moulton, Regency. We wanted to create a cool content group and whatnot. But going back to, all the criticism and whatnot in regards to getting length, yeah, there were times where it was like, look, I'm just trying to play the best golf I can possibly play. And if it's me hitting it farther, great. If it's me not hitting it farther because I pivot down the road because I find out it doesn't work for me, great. It doesn't matter. I don't really care what it is, what the final end result is. The final end result is me wanting to be number one in the world. Like, that's my full goal, is to do that. And however I get there, whether it's being the farthest on tour, being the shortest on tour, I don't care. It's whatever it is, it's going to work. And I'm still vetting out this process, seeing if it's possible. Because there may come a point in time where it's like, this length isn't doing as much as I thought it could. And, the technology just isn't there, and we can't do anything about it for years to come. I don't think that's the case. I really think that there is possibility moving forward with the drivers that we're developing to create a driver that goes straight at 200 mile an hour ball speed. But needless to say, it was difficult in 2020, and one that you have to learn. You really have to grow as a person to be able to stomach a lot of what people are saying to you. And that's just life now. There's a lot of cancel culture thought out there, and I understand it. And it's one of those things that for me, we all as professionals in our own right have to be conscious of it and respectful of it, and continue to move in a direction that you think is positive for yourself. For me, it's trying to grow the game of golf.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got some follow-up questions with that, because I'd love to hear it from you again, because I've kind of heard it. I don't think I've ever heard you particularly say it, but obviously with all criticism and things you were getting, particularly last year, you mentioned you were looking at potentially quitting. Like, what's the truth in that? Yeah. Explain.
Yeah, I mean, this was like around FedEx St. Jude time, where just people were just going. I mean, I couldn't say a thing right. There was nothing I could do, right? And at a certain point in time, you just look at it and you're like, I'm well off. I mean, golf for me isn't about money anymore. I really don't care about that. I just have lost the love for playing the game of golf, because there's so many people that are just going against me, and they don't want to. They like seeing me down. They like knocking me down, and it's like, you know what? I don't need that. There's no reason to keep going on. I can go do VC work and be completely content. Yeah, and be really, really well for the world. There's no need to keep going down this road. And then I had a friend, Chris Pratt. I just gave him a call, and he's been a great friend of mine for a couple of years, and I met him at Riviera a couple of years ago before the pandemic, and he was awesome. The first time I met him, we just kept in touch ever since, and just had a conversation with him, and he was like, dude, like, I get criticism and hate every single day for the movies I create. But the movies that I create and the characters that I am in those movies do not define me.
Yeah.
What defines me is the person that I am around my family, back at home.
Yeah.
Back, influencing the world in a positive way when I'm back at home, taking care of my own life behind closed doors. That's really what matters. They're going to display you as this character out there, whatever way they want to. And you really can't do much to change it ever, because it is what it is. People have these own ideas and mindsets of who this person is, and they're going to create it. And this is the person that he is. And so he told me, he's like, you got to play that fictional character in the best way possible, because that is a fictional character. That's not really you. He says, yeah, you can produce your own content on YouTube and create what you want and show them what you want as well, because that is you on YouTube, right? But people that are writing stuff, saying stuff, and whatever, they have a vision of who you are in your head, and that's not really going to change unless you keep playing that game, I guess, in the best way possible over the course of time. It's going to take a long time for that to change, but you got to play the fictional character, and you got to decide if you want to play it. If you feel like you're a good enough character to play that in the way people think you are, and kind of mold that into the way you want, then do it. But if you aren't ready for that, you don't want to do it, you aren't ready to take up that task, then go live a family life and call it a day. It's not a big deal.